Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, it's me, Desmondo from the Shadow War. Yes, it's Friday afternoon, and we had a day of gaming today with Pip coming over to start the driving charge, Jitra, 1941 Pint Size Campaign from the Toofatlardies. The initial plan was to play 2 games, but we only played one, simply because I, as a Japanese, won hands down on this game, and that means that game 2 was void. I should say table 2 was void, and we moved on to table 3. At that point, Pip needed to lie down as he was totally utterly exhausted from the effort of trying to stop my Japanese, and decided to grab an Uber home rather than brave the rain, or monsoon as some of us might call it these days, and head home. But what a great day of gaming it was. As you can see, the Japanese are actually on the bridge here and are chasing off what's left of the British, whose force morale collapsed. You'll notice the dice there. The Royal Engineers, whoever these chaps were doing a splendid job in only the short time they were actually involved in the game, and got it up to 17 out of 20 before I managed to get onto the bridge. And I must admit, I was a bit panicky and was deeply concerned that he was going to actually get to blow the bridge once he got a change of command dice and 20 points, which is what you need in the scenario to blow the bridge. And I would have lost the scenario straight off. But I managed to get my men on there at a little bit of cost, but not much. But got to say, it was a touch and go for a bit. There was a slight bit of mild panic in the Japanese ranks for a little while. But if I come back, you'll see the standard table. If you've not played the Jitra campaign, I recommend having a look at it. It looks really, really interesting. And I would say also it makes a great break from Normandy. And there's an awful lot more to learn about the terrain, the impact of the terrain on the game, and the Japanese, all the special things they can do, the ruses, their different types of support, all great stuff. And gotta admit, I'm very, very excited to play this and start this campaign. I'm a huge fan of the Toofatlardies Far East Handbook and all that the potential it offers in terms of games. And I really hope over the next few years that can be developed a bit more, because it does suffer from hardly having any pint-sized campaigns, and I hold my hand up for that as well. I was looking at doing some for the Australians in the early war, and of course the stuff in the Dutch East Indies, which I'm a great fan of and have a lot of troops for, but I've done nothing. And that's probably down to me and other people like me to actually pull our finger out and turn our excitement and enthusiasm into pint-sized campaigns for the Far East. But here's a quick summary for you. The Japanese came on with jump-off points here, over here, and if I pan back, they pull one in front of the rice paddies. The British put one out in front here, and then another one slightly exposed there, but that was a good position to stalling, and then another one on the flank. Now, the way it worked was that I initially was planning a dash up the road, but when I saw this exposed jump-off point, I was rather tempted to take it on. And as you can see, I've actually deployed a section here. The plan was to put the heavy MG over here, sorry, the medium MG over here as well, and use scouts to try and grab that, while my 0 support option pinned the British down and made them not get on table. Didn't work out that way at all. The 0 did absolutely bugger all the whole game in the whole first turn, because we never got past the first turn. And actually the British were able to deploy wherever they want with minimal shock. So that plan there sort of stalled. And then Pip started rolling these amazing engineering dice. As I said, it's 17, and I think we only played, by the end, I think by the time I got to the bridge, we'd played something like 6 phases only. So he was doing really well, maybe even less than that. So I then took the chance to deploy as much as I could off this jump-off point. I brought on my senior leader, my mortars, 2 sections, and the heavy MG, and basically took on what was deployed here by Pip. You'll see there's nothing there anymore. That's because they are all dead. And basically started a firefight. I stormed across here thinking, haha, I'm up against green troops, I will take them on. It didn't work out that way. I actually lost the close combat. He rolled some spectacular close combat dice, and a couple of medals were presented to the chaps before they got killed, and throw the Japanese back. So in the end I had to go down to firepower, formed a firing line here and shot them to bits. And at that point, that's when I took the risk. I then got a double phase and charged up the road, grabbed the bridge, and by grabbing the bridge you stop the engineers working on it, and that was the crucial point. Once I'd done that, it was a game for me to lose, and I made sure I didn't lose it. I chased off down the road, overran some units that were broken, killed them, dispatched what was left, running down the rest of the road to the edge of the table here, and that left this unit here isolated. In the meantime, Pip had been rolling for bad things happened on wounded, stunned leaders, sections and teams wiped out, and his force morale dropped rather rapidly, and he had 4 chain of command dice to begin with. That went disappeared down to only 2, and then his force morale collapsed and went to 0, and that was the end of the game. Now, losses. I lost 8 men. The Indians lost this pile of troops here, but it doesn't actually matter for Pip because his troops routed off table. The second table in the campaign is now void, and this unit now vaporizes and disappears from the campaign, and he gets a fresh British unit, which is I think it's a Gurkha unit he gets next, which is, it's still green, but you know, it's no losses. Now, because my force morale was still intact at 10, and the British had dropped to 0, I got 10 rolls on the medics table for my losses, and I managed to recover all my dead men. Some are coming back next turns, next game, and others are coming immediately back. So yeah, so that was good. I basically got nearly all my troops back, so I'm going to be pretty fresh and ready to take on the Gurkhas in the next game. Hopefully that will be in the next week or 2 weeks, and we'll get to it again. Thoroughly enjoyable game. As expected, of course, the Indian troops, who are green, outnumbered, outclassed, weren't really expected to win. But however, I think it was a splendid game, and for a little bit, as I say, the Japanese had to be careful because they can't replace in their losses. And if I had any heavy losses, it would have been bad for me in the next couple of games. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, everyone. I will be posting the next update from the Jitra campaign as soon as it comes through. And I hope you like the terrain, and I hope you like all the figures. I must admit, I realise I do have a few gaps in my British stroke Indian stroke Gurkha forces. And I say a few gaps, I say some huge gaps. And I may have to start looking on eBay and other places for Battlefront 15mm figures and fill in those gaps, so I've got more troops and stuff to play with. Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody, and please look out for the next video. Take care.